Hello, welcome to my latest video. This is Karate Diary. Right, my training lately hasn't been going brilliantly because I haven't been able to get to class due to work and my transport issues at the moment, which doesn't really make for a brilliant diary, although if I didn't tell you I wasn't going then it wouldn't be very truthful. However, this weekend will make up for it a little bit because I have a special course coming up. Fortunately I can't make all of it because the dates are a bit weird this time. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but this time round it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'm unable to make the Monday session. So anyway, I'll be doing training most of Saturday, all day Sunday. I'm going to bring the camera along to the Sunday class and hopefully get some good stuff there to show you, which I will then post hopefully on the Monday afternoon. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like going through the ranks of karate. When you're a lower grade, you often have your instructor, they tell you to do certain exercises, and there can be often points when you think, why am I doing this? Why are you making me do this? This is so unfair, I don't see the point of it. Though every instructor, when they teach you something, there's always a reason behind their lesson plan. It may not be obvious at first, sometimes they'll explain what they're doing to you, other times they want you to work it out for yourself. But I know when you're at the bottom of the ranks and you're thinking, oh, I'm doing this, maybe you're on shikadachi for like an hour punching, you think, oh, my legs are burning, or you do 1,000 kicks on one leg and then change, you think, why am I doing this? This is horrible. Of course, not all classes are like that. Some of them are a bit more slow paced, a bit more technical. It's all about the technique anyway. But sometimes you can be doing things and you think, why am I doing this? And then sometimes years later, you actually think, it makes sense now, I understand. So if you're new to karate or any kind of martial art and you're wondering, why am I doing this? And it hurts, you're getting through the pain. Sometimes you just want you just want to learn the spinning, flying around kick and win lots of gold medals. That's okay if that's what you want to do. I'm not really interested in that sort of thing. I'm not really interested in sport karate. I'm more interested in the traditional style karate. Though I understand sport karate has its place and it's good to experience every so often, that's not really what I'm interested in. I'm more interested in the personal growth, traditional style. So, I go along, I grow, I'm on my own journey, somebody else is on their journey, this person's on their journey, we're all trying to get to the same place, we're all trying to improve, we're not competing against each other, we're working with each other as partners rather than competitors. So, but when you get higher up and you suddenly realise what it was that the instructor was trying to teach you, and suddenly it makes sense, you kind of like have an aha moment, and suddenly all these things come together. You've got a bit from here and a bit from here and a bit from here, and it all comes together and coalesces as one, and then suddenly you have a breakthrough and you move through and you go up the levels. And then you start teaching, and the style I do, teaching is very important to the learning, especially if you're teaching the little kids. They ask you a question and you don't know the answer. There you go, you've lost them basically for the rest of the class. So it's important you know the stuff. So anything that they ask you, why are we doing this? Why do we kick like this? Why does roundhouse kick go like that? Why do we punch with these knuckles and not these knuckles maybe? Or anything, why does the fist have to be straight and not up and down? These are fairly easy questions, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but anything like that is very important to know. And when you've been learning all this stuff in the past and you're wondering, why are we doing that? And then you're teaching and then you think, I understand what that was, why we did that then. I wasn't ready to understand it when I was a lower level, but I needed to learn it, if that makes sense, so that when I was ready to understand it, I could come to that realization myself without having to be told it. And then, so when I teach, I sometimes will do the same thing, and I will actually mimic and copy classes that I did as a junior or a lower grade when I'm helping to teach. And again, I will, use the same philosophy. Sometimes I'll explain it a bit, but other times I want the student to have the realisation and the aha moment themselves as they go up the grades and think, yes, now I understand, and that I want them to come to that, aha moment themselves without me just spoon feed it to them, because if I just give them everything, spoon feed it to them, it's not going to have the same satisfaction. Okay, at the time, initially you might think, why am I doing this? I don't understand it. But then as you go up the levels, you get that, which is a nice thing. So, that's just a little bit about that. Of course, then there is the other thing about teaching, or being taught. Different instructors say you to do different things. One person says do it like this, another person says do it like that, and then you start thinking, which way is correct? And to be honest, both ways are correct. As long as the instructor can say, I'm telling you to do it like this because, or the other person says, I'm telling you to do it like that because, then both reasons are valid. So you take on both, make it your own. Of course, when you're lower level, that's a bit harder to, take on all these different things and make it your own. You just have to do what you're told, basically. The instructor, sensei, teacher, whatever, says, do it this way, you do it that way. You go to a different dojo, a guest instructor comes along, you do it that way. I've been to many gashkus and they all say something very slightly different, yet the same. It's hard to explain, really. So it's like a square pin plug or a round pin plug. They're both exactly the same. They do different jobs, but they're just slightly different. So it's important to learn all these different methods, and then as you go up the levels and work your way up, you get more experience. Then you can start to take this and this, and then you can start making it your own thing and then teach. This is one reason why there are so many different styles of karate. I mean, I do Goju-Ryu karate, but in that I also do elements of different types of karate, like Shotokan, for example. Like the first kata I learned is Heian Shodan, which is actually a Shotokan kata, but I do Goju-Ryu, so it's actually been adapted slightly. So instead of doing the nice long stances, it's shortened down in places. So and it makes it a little bit different. It's the same kata, you'd recognise it as Heian Shodan, but yet it's slightly different. And there's loads of different styles. I mean, one of the things I found really fascinating when I started learning karate was the lineage of different styles that you could see. And then you look back and you think, well, you've got all this group over here, and then you've got all this group over here, but then you look at the timeline back and they all come to the same point. And then you've got other styles. I mean, I know the style that I'm part of, it's had many offshoots come off, but then they've kind of gone back around to where my style originally came from in the first place. But each instructor, when they're teaching you, they will say something very slightly different. Again, what you've been doing isn't necessarily wrong, it's probably completely correct, it's just a different way of doing things, and it's important to know all these different ways. Although if you are a lower grade, this can be extremely frustrating, because you think, I've been doing it this way, I'm learning this way, I'm learning this way, so I'm learning my Chudanuke like this, I'm learning it like this, and then someone else comes along and says, no, do it like this, so they're on this camera shot. You can't actually see much difference there, but the elbows were slightly different. Both ways are correct, they're both valid. Again, it's like hips, for example. Goju-Ryu has more wobbly hips, whereas Shotokan is more like so. Again, they're both correct, they're just different ways of doing it. I'd like to practice both ways, because I say the style I do, although is like 99% Goju-Ryu, it does have an element of Shotokan in it. So anyway, that's basically, I just wanted to have a bit of a ramble today talking about that. Again, I've got training course coming up over the weekend, so I will be posting the video hopefully on Monday evening or maybe Tuesday. Depends on when I'm going back to work. I can't actually remember right now. So that's it really, and you'll also get to see me wearing my gi, because so far on the Karate Diary videos I'm just wearing a t-shirt rather than my gi. Anyway, I am now going to go and practice out in the garden because it's actually sunny for a change, to make up for the classes that I've been missing recently due to work. So I'm going to do basic ki-on. I always like doing some ki-on, do the weights, do lots of kicks. I'm going to practice over the table. Remember in previous video I said I'm going to be practicing my kicks more over tables, and I'll show you a video later on showing how I'm improving. And I'll do a bunch of kata as well. I like doing kata in the garden when it's sunny. Don't tend to do it so much when it's raining because I'll get wet. But I'm looking out the window and there's not actually really any clouds. I actually haven't said that. There is some clouds over there. But so that's basically what I'm going to do later. I'm not going to film that. So you just have to take my word for it that I'm going to do it, or that I've done it if you're watching this in the future. Get the video posted next week of my training course. Can't guarantee how good the content will be because it's really difficult to film and train at the same time. So basically all I'm going to do, I'm going to stick my tripod in the corner of the room, point it at the class, hope for the best. We have a break for lunch, so I'll probably move the tripod somewhere else, see if I can get any different shots. Mix it all together, try and make it look half decent, and then tell you about it. Okay, that's it, bye for now. Click subscribe, I'm going to put the link right here. Thank you very much, and see you next time.